Welcome back, Star Wars fans, to Coruscant Radio Underground. I'm Andrew, and joining me tonight is Ro from the Scarif Podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Not much. What's going on, Ro? How are you doing?
Doing good. Just finished recording this week's episode with Dave from What Does Star Wars Mean to You? We're going to be talking about fan expectations. Does that hurt your enjoyment of a movie? Or do we continue to have expectations, either real or imagined?
Yeah, that's a really interesting conversation because it's all about, it's fair to have expectations of things, and so it's like can you overdo it? I guess.
Sure. Yeah. We each have our line in the sand, as they say.
Right. All right, I got one more guest to bring in here.
Hey!
Texting people to be like, hey, we're live. How cool is that?
Live.
Yeah, and we got a couple of people over here in the
chat.
Chat. We got Amanda and Andrew joining us in the chat. We'll see if anybody else.
Bro, does it look familiar?
Yes, it does.
This is my current Tuesday shirt.
Wait, did you get that at the same place I got my Palpatine Anakin for? Yes. Do you have their card? Because I want to get more t-shirts.
I bought this very specifically for this whole season. So like every Tuesday, this is my shirt. Okay, no one come after me. Okay, I only got one. So.
Well, that's why I want to get their card. Do you have their info?
I think so. I'm sure I do. I kept everything. Are you kidding me?
Good. Because I wanted to get another one of those t-shirts. I've had people stop me on the street and ask me, hey, where'd you get that? I'm like, I wish I knew.
All right. So we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We're going to just, we're going to, we're going to do we're going to pregame Ahsoka here. Maybe next week I can do it from the grill instead of, rushing through. I can,
dude, that might make a whole new show.
It's true. Maybe if I can get my my cooking area looking more presentable, I can try that.
I mean, think about this. Like Danny does it with, she can do her makeup and talk about comics. You could be at the grill cooking while you're talking about Star Wars and all that cool stuff.
Yeah,
true. Very true.
I have to give that some consideration. See if I can figure out how to make that work. So we're not going to talk. I mean, we've all talked at length about the first two episodes, but just to kind of refresh for anybody new that might happen across this while we're doing it, just quick, your quick one-line thought on the show 2 episodes in.
One word thought? Is that what you
said? No, you can do one word, one line thought, just or a couple lines, but just something short.
Curious. I'm curious to see more. I didn't know what to expect. I'm not the kind of guy that judges something before it happens. I'm always all in. But I'm curious. Tonight's episode is going to be interesting. It's going to be a short one, though.
Yeah,
I hear. But hopefully, hopefully we'll get our fill.
What about you, Nicole?
Exciting. If I had to do one word, I was excited, and I'm very excited. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and like a lot of times, I mean, I think I understand what Dave is doing with some of the characters, but as far as like the story and the lore that he's developing here for the first time in a long time, I'm kind of going into this going, I don't really know what to expect, and I like that. I'm happy about that. Some of the other stuff, it's like you get an episode or two in, you go, okay, I got it. I get what they're doing. And it's 2 episodes in, and I'm still not sure where they're going.
And it's so intriguing too, because, everybody talks about, this all leads to the sequel trilogy and all this information is for naught, but it is interesting to kind of be in that place of like, what happens next, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, I think people looking, I know people are like, oh, it's just leading to the sequel trilogy. Who cares? And it's like, well, I mean, everything, it's a long gap there, and
details matter.
Right. I don't mind having a lot of those gaps filled in. And like, we will forever think of that line in the last movie as why and where did that come from? And, how did Palpatine return exactly?
Mhm.
But, people going forward as they watch this and watching it with all these details filled in, at least won't have that moment of, wait, how did we get here?
Mhm.
So I think some of it is about filling that gap, but I think there's a ton of story to be told that can give us little teases of how we got to the sequel trilogy, but we don't have to tell that story. Like we don't have to like be a direct link. And I think that's what Filoni's doing. I mean, he's obviously showing us the incompetence of the New Republic and things like that, but
And
I mean,
they're freshly pressed uniforms.
right. Well, I mean, I think most real militaries uniforms are required to be pretty clean most of the time. So plus they have droids to do all that pressing. So
Right.
well, so a couple of questions going in, and Nicole, like I told Ro, I'm planning on knocking this out about 10 minutes before 8 so that everybody's got a little
Sweet.
time to get ready for the drop of the show. And I see Nicole has joined us in the chat. Welcome. Not
You
Nicole.
mean-
Michelle has joined
Michelle?
us I'm sorry. It was hot
Okay.
outside. I was outside grilling and it was very hot.
I'm telling you, next time you just need to set up the webcam right there, do the stand, and just go.
So, first question is less about the story and kind of something we've discussed before, but I think it's particularly of point tonight with the episode length only being about 34 minutes tonight, I think they're saying. How do we feel?
Yeah.
How do we feel about that in general? Just the kind of bouncing. I don't mind a little deviation in the length, but I feel like that's pretty extreme.
Me no like.
I mean, if I had my way, every episode would be at least 45 minutes.
At least, yeah. I think they did a good job with releasing the first two. I mean, it really kind of felt like a nice little, like a nice little contained, first part of a movie.
You got a question here, Ro, about when your Kai Patterson episode drops. So definitely just go ahead and give you a chance to plug that.
Absolutely. I just finished the edit today, and this is the edit for the YouTube version. I'm thinking on Sunday, somewhere in there. It depends because I don't want to step on Danny and her show or the Used and Abused. So we'll see. I might do it like super late, but we'll see. And then next Thursday, I'm releasing the audio version, which has some extra stuff plus a giveaway. And if everyone in the chat is interested, if anybody likes Bad Batch, this is what I'm giving away.
Oh,
very nice.
Wow.
Squadrons edition of what's the ship called?
Whew.
What is the ship called? The Marauder.
The
Yeah, that's
Marauder.
right.
Oh, and it's got a tiny little Omega
Oh my gosh.
and Rekka.
I think
and
Amanda's
Omega.
about to jump through that screen.
So watch or listen to the Kai Patterson interview next Thursday because this is what I'm giving away.
Wow.
Awesome.
That is sweet. And thank you, Ro, for including me because if not, I might have had to grab out my Ewok ears and remind you of a few things.
So Nicole, what about you on the episode length?
Okay, so I saw what Michelle said in this thing, and she said that's extreme. And for me, there's a couple of things. One, the length doesn't necessarily deviate from quality. As long as the quality is there, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Also, quick reminder that many very legendary sitcoms can do it in under 30, and they get it done. And they've won Emmys and they've all won a bunch of awards. And I'm not saying.
I mean, that's the thing. A 30-minute television show is really only about 22 minutes of airtime.
Exactly. So. And if they can do it, well, I'm trying to have hope here. And as somebody who loves sitcoms, I'm going, okay, we have to get down to quality. As long as they have good quality and it's all really good and it leaves us wanting more for next week, we're going to be okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I wish the episodes were a little bit longer, but yeah, at the end of the day, if it's really good, I'm not going to care.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of where I'm at on the length. It's like it just I don't really love the idea of it, but I'm going to forget all about it if they're good. But kind of what were you going to say, Ro?
No, I was gonna say, short episodes. Obviously, if they don't pull you in right away, when they end, you get a little upset and bewildered at the fact that it's not like, oh my god, this is all there is. But I'm like Nicole says, I'm really hoping that this short episode will be so intriguing and so massively good.
Yeah.
That
Like
by the end of the episode,
cross everything.
we'll be like, oh no, I want more.
I mean, they did on season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, there were some really short, really good episodes. So
exactly.
It's not like it can't be done. I mean, 34 minutes of uninterrupted airtime is the same as a 45-minute TV show. So
exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. And so I think that's what we have to remember, quality. And I also think we have to keep our perspectives in check, because I think if people go in with this perspective already that, oh, it's only 34 minutes, this is going to be horrible, and they're already trashing it, they've already given in before they've even before the show has even begun and had an opportunity to prove itself.
Yeah.
So here's to hoping for quality, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the big question. This is something that I wanted to talk about on our show last Thursday, and we were
make a quick pause. Sorry, Andrew, the other Andrew, Mr. Haley, has made a very good point. Thank you, Andrew. Exactly. Thank you. And this is Star Wars right there. This is truth.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Rebels, definitely, especially season 4, Rebels, season 4. Now, special note, I want to talk about Rebels real quick though. Rebels, like I remember season 1, it was good. Season 2 is when they finally got in their groove. By season 4, you want to binge. So it took time. So I think people going in going, hey, if this doesn't grab us right away, this is going to be awful. And it's like, no, that's not what this is all about. Most shows, I feel, or most series, yes, it's like the first season's good. But season 2 and season 4, that's when they're going to start hitting the sweet spot. So just saying, they're getting in their groove still. So we got to give it an opportunity. So,
right. So this, no problem. But so the question, this is something I wanted to cover on Thursday, but we were trying to hold to an hour. We were already at an hour and 15 minutes. So I didn't discuss this, but I kind of wanted to throw this out to y'all and to the chat before we jump into this episode tonight, because it could come up tonight. It may not come up at this point, but so Sabine, is Sabine force sensitive or no? And do you have a problem with it if she turns out to be force sensitive?
I feel like they made such a big deal with Huang saying, out of all the years that I've been teaching, you are the least force sensitive. And that would set it up to, I don't know, create this surprise when she is force sensitive. I feel that, but it wouldn't, I don't think it'll bother me because, the force surrounds us, it penetrates us, et cetera, et cetera. But I know that, there are some people that, all right, she wasn't force sensitive in Rebels, and all of a sudden she's force sensitive here.
But was she?
Right.
And that's what I'm going to get into in a minute. But Nicole, how are you feeling about it?
Kind of a little bit of what you guys are both saying right now. I could already kind of feel what's going on. See, I'm one with the force, so I can feel what I'm about to say and talk about. It would not surprise me because 1, she's already held the Darth saber as a Mandalorian. She's already held that. 2, she's already wielded a lightsaber. That's not to say that she won't be. Whether she is or whether, it's going to come down to the writing and how they handle it. As long as the writing's really good and it works out, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just surprised me. Okay, dark saber, and she's wielded a lightsaber. She's already had training. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, of course, the way she wielded the dark saber always comes into question, but there are actually other little hints along the way. You know, she's had dreams that seem to connect her to Ezra in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the single biggest one, and Ro ought to like this one, is because it has to do with the Bendu. That last scene with the Bendu is Sabine walking away, and the Bendu kind of rises up and watches her leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so what is the Bendu? That was always the question of what was it about Sabine that got the Bendu's attention?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and what are you talking about, the Rebels episode?
Yes, in the Rebels episode.
I'm gonna have to go back. I know you and I have had discussions online about the Bendu. Our little bit of a difference of opinion about the character, but I find him intriguing, and I think if you're right, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that episode just to kind of see if there are any hints that I can pick up. But I think that's a great observation.
So there are a number of little things, and of course, you always wonder, like, the people that we see as Jedi are obviously very attuned to the Force. But then you look at a character, you know, we're in a galaxy of destiny and kind of purpose. And so when you take a character, even to look at a character like Han Solo and go, he's very lucky, but does luck actually exist in a world that's completely driven by destiny?
Mm-hmm.
So
you can say that about our world too,
right? So, you know, what appears to be luck is it Han having some level of attunement to the Force. It's not enough to, you know, float rocks or, you know, anything like that, but possibly the reason he's so good at the things he does is because of some level of connection to the Force. And I know a lot of people get upset about that, but a lot of the people I see getting upset about the possibility of her being at least somewhat Force attuned are also big fans of things like Knights of the Old Republic, where we kind of had side characters who we would find out as we went, oh yeah, he's good at this, but it turns out the reason that he's been good at this is because he's been kind of gathering, specifically in Knights of the Old Republic 1 with Revan, where he's sort of unknowingly gathering these untrained Force users to himself along as, you know, as he journeys. And so the idea that you can have lots, especially in an era when there is no order, out there finding these children and training them of people who are just kind of the lost Jedi, the lost generation of Jedi out there in the galaxy. So I'm really kind of excited about the possibility of her having some level of Force attunement, but maybe not of what we would normally expect from a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew's got a great question. Who would you rather have, Force sensitivity or Spidey sense? They're the same thing.
I think the same thing. I feel like I have them already.
Yeah.
All the time.
But, you know, we've also seen lots of characters throughout books and games and things who are attuned to the Force in different ways. You know, and there was what was the book? It was a lead into The Rise of Skywalker.
Which one?
I'm trying to think. I can't
remember. I have the collection because it's the Journey to the Rise of
Skywalker. It's right here on the shelf behind me, but I don't see it.
So is it mine.
What's the one? It's the guy that's kind of the young guy that's kind of on a quest. He discovers he's descended from a Jedi.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Yes. It's one of my favorites. Hold on. I got it. Oh my God. Yes.
The something hunter. What was that?
Yeah. That's what I'm blanking on the name of it. And I really like Force Collector.
Force Collector.
This is the one. Okay. This was my favorite one. And I read it in less than a day, y'all.
Calm down, Nicole.
I know. Anyways, so if they would ever create, somebody asked me the other night on Sunday night about this, about what would I create, and honestly, I didn't even think about this until you just said it, Andrew. I wish they would make this into a one-off movie.
Absolutely, it's a really cool story of the books that came out with the movies. It's by far the best, and it's a super underrated book.
Agreed. So read it.
But like, we're talking about a guy that's got Force power, you know, Force abilities, but they're not strong, but they're very specific in what they can do. And so I think that Filoni may be kind of venturing down the path of introducing us to different kinds of Force users. And maybe people that aren't as attuned as a Jedi Knight.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's possible.
Yeah, I definitely go back and take a look at that scene with the Bendu, because it's at least worth wondering what Filoni was trying to show us.
And it's amazing that he's going to get to finish that thought, in this series, we assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of little cool things with Sabine when she's training with Kanan in Rebels. We see, the Morai birds that follow Ahsoka around. There's 3 of them watching Sabine train.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been said that those may have represented Kanan, Ezra, and Sabine.
Mm.
So
Okay.
it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But we are going to probably wrap on up here. Does anybody have any final thoughts heading in? Anything specific they want to see in tonight's episode? Or
I mean, I did see a trailer for tonight's episode. There seems to be a lot of action. There's some space whales and some space battles.
Purgles! Okay.
Well, yeah.
I have not seen this trailer, and I'm okay with that. But when I did see somebody mention the space whales, but then I went, of course. I had a feeling it was coming, because from The Mandalorian we saw the Purgles, the space whales, and I was like, oh my god, they're coming, because everyone went Thrawn, and I went Thrawn, so I'm excited. I'm okay. I'm excited. It'll be a good time. Quality people.
Yeah.
Bro, you got any final thoughts before we head into episode 3?
By the way, Jabba.
I'm only wondering what size those pants that Jabba's wearing are.
They're pretty big.
Husky.
I want to know why he's by me.
And it's funny. When I was a little kid, my mom used to take me to Sears to get Husky pants. I thought Husky was a brand. Damn it.
Maybe it was. All right. Well, that's a good place to wrap up. Give everybody. Do you have another thought, Nicole?
No, I'm good. I'm just excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Awesome. And we may, I was talking to Nicole, we may jump back in. Our full review will be on Thursday, but I think we may jump back in after and just give a quick thought on the episode. So
excellent.
If you get done watching, keep an eye out for us, and we should be back on for a few minutes. So
all right.
That'll do it for tonight. Go get ready to watch it. Everybody have a good time and enjoy. And until next time, may the Force be with you.
This podcast is a member of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts and content creators, visit bio.link/Red5.